If you want a revolution, the only solution, evolve. Gotta evolve. If you want a revolution, the only solution, evolve.
Hello, and welcome to Out of the Blue. Tonight I am going to review the box set for The Wizard of Oz. Because there's so many extras on here, I'm sure this will end up being multiple reviews. So let's get right to it and start with disc 1. So when you put in disc 1 of Wizard of Oz, the movie automatically starts. There is no main menu, there is no nothing. It just comes up and starts playing the movie. Now, I'm not a huge fan of that. I do like my menus on my DVDs, but this does have a menu, and you have to hit the title menu or whatever button on your controller that will bring up the bottom menu like that. And then from there, you can select kind of what you want to watch. So yeah, that's on disc 1. The only way you can actually watch any of the extras is to hit the main menu or the title menu on your controller to bring up the menu, which is not horrible, but still I do like menus. So first let me talk about the quality of the Blu-ray. This is as good as you will ever see Wizard of Oz. As you can see in the beginning of this, it's more of a chocolate looking color because pretty much every time they show the Wizard of Oz on TV, it's just straight black and white. And when the movie came out, it wasn't black and white, it was more a chocolate color. So they kind of restored that for the beginning of the film, and it looks great. I mean, it's cool to see it in its original form again. Once she gets to Oz and it turns to color, you can just see the vibrant colors here, and it's just mind-boggling on the quality and of what they did here. It's just incredible looking. You can see all the details. This was absolutely worth having on Blu-ray. Even if you don't get the big huge box set, you can get the individual smaller discs. And if you love The Wizard of Oz, this is absolutely the best you will ever see it. Okay, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of extras on this first disc. The first thing is the commentary, and there's a lot of people who are doing the commentary on here, but they're old audio clips from interviews and things like that they've done in the past. They're not actually watching the film, but there is an historian who goes through the movie with you and talks about the film, and during his commentary, he plays these old audio clips from interviews and things like that.
Now you'll see the famous Munchkin coroner, Meinhard Robbie, and the scroll he's going to unroll features one curious coincidence. If you look at it closely, it gives May 6, 1938 as the death date for the Wicked Witch of the East. Well, that's exactly 19 years to the date after L. Frank Baum, the author of the Oz books, passed away.
Next up on the extras is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the making of a movie classic. This is a absolute spectacular extra on this disc. And it's great that it's the first extra on here because it pretty much tells you how they made all of this movie. I mean, have interviews from everybody on here, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, I've even watched it several times because while recording this review for you guys, I haven't watched it for a while, so I went back and rewatched the whole thing again and enjoyed it just as much the second time as I did the first time. And this whole thing, of course, is narrated or hosted by Angela Lansbury. She's pretty much a perfect host for this whole thing, and it's just great. I mean, there's so much information in this, and it's so much fun to watch, and it really don't get better than this. I mean, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that extra is almost about an hour long. So after this, we have The Art of Imagination, a tribute to Oz. This extra is around 30 minutes long, and is basically having all these famous directors and actors on here telling their admiration they had for the film and how it was made. And again, it's a really good extra. There's nothing boring here. You know, it actually gives you more information about the film, about a little bit about how they made it, and you know what MGM went through to get it produced. And you know, it's a really good extra, very entertaining, and well worth watching. So now we have Because of the Wonderful Things It Does, The Legacy of Oz.
There were only a few channels back then, maybe 3 or 4 in each town. It wasn't like the hundreds of channels today, and there was no such thing as a tape or DVD. When a movie was shown on the tube, everybody watched it.
You could say that again.
I was 5 back in Wisconsin. I watched the movie that night with 3 cousins and 2 sets of aunts and uncles and my mom and dad, and everybody else had a wonderful evening. I had the life-changing experience.
It was a big family event. The whole family gathered to watch it on a black and white television set, so I had no idea it turned to color when we got to Oz.
So, as you can see, what this is, it's kind of another tribute to the film about how, when they used to show it on television, everybody would gather in front of the TV and watch it. It was always like a yearly event, and everybody, you know, loved getting in front of the TV to watch The Wizard of Oz once a year. And it's everybody's memories of them doing that. And it's another incredibly well done little documentary here. As you can see, it's filmed really well, and it's about 25 minutes long. It's super entertaining, absolutely fantastic, like all the other extras on here. And it really brings back a lot of memories of when I was a kid and Oz would come on TV, and you're like, oh my god, you know, we got to watch Oz, because again, when they show it, you know, that was it. You saw it, and then you didn't see it again for another year. Not like now, to where you can, of course, watch it on DVD and watch it pretty much like every hour of the day when they're showing it on television somewhere. So, yeah, a great documentary. Next extra is Memories of Oz. So this extra is about 30 minutes again, and once again, it kind of starts out with comparing the movie to the book a little bit, and then it gets into kind of the impact that Oz has made throughout the years. And you know, there's actors and directors again on here talking about their reactions to the film when they're growing up. So it's kind of the same thing, a little bit like from some of the other extras, but it's all different. I mean, it's all new interviews, it's all new perspectives, but it's kind of, you know, talking is sort of about the same stuff that was on the previous extras. But again, fantastic. And it has, as you can see, it has some of the old actors on here talking about their memories of when they were on set and things like that. And great extra, absolutely worth watching just to get more information about the film. And it's cool to see all these old munchkins now dressed up, as you can see. So yeah, it's fantastic. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz storybook. So this is sort of a illustrated version of the book with some of the artwork, you know, from the original book, and the book is being read by Angela Lansbury. So it's kind of visual. It's hard to explain it. It's sort of, like I said, it's like a visual animated sequence through the whole thing, but it's all being read by Angela Lansbury. And it's just cool they took this much time and effort to do something like this, to put in for the extras, so you can actually hear, you know, Frank L. Baum's actual words from The Wizard of Oz and see the images from the book as well. So yeah, awesome.
And slapped the lion across his nose. She cried out, "Don't you dare bite Toto! You ought to be ashamed of yourself, a big beast like you." "I didn't bite him," said the lion as he rubbed his nose with his paw.
Prettier Than Ever, the restoration of Oz. This is an 11-minute extra telling you how they basically restored the original print and took all the scratches out and fixed the colorization in the beginning of it and things like that, and how they pretty much restored it from what it did look like to how they made it look so spectacular on Blu-ray. So really interesting extra, talking about learning how they did all this. So yeah, it's very cool. We haven't really met properly. What we have here are all the people who are in Wizard of Oz. From the actual wizard to the scarecrow to the lion to the Tin Man to even Toto. I mean, they're all here, and each one of these is a little mini documentary talking about how they got the role for the characters they play, and who they are and things like that. So incredible extra here, just to be able to see all these people.
You're a very bad man.
Oh, no, my dear. I'm a very good man. I'm just a very bad wizard.
It's impossible to imagine anyone other than Frank Morgan as the Wizard of Oz, but the part almost went to W.C. Fields.
Prove it.
These two comic geniuses had something else.
A lot of good information on this that you probably wouldn't know unless you are a Oz historian. So it's really cool to go through here and see how these people got the roles. Great stuff. So after behind the story, we get to the audio section. And the first part of the audio section is music and effects track. And basically all that is if you turn it on, all you will hear is the music and the special effects track. And it cuts out all the dialogue. And the next one is the original mono track, which is non-stereo, just, basic mono. And the one after that is called a jukebox. And what this is actually really freaking cool. These are all the original recordings for most of the songs, or pretty much all the songs in the movie. So if you click on one and listen to it, you get to hear the actual original recording of each soundtrack.
1, 2, 3. Take 6.
The last three extras on the audio section are old radio broadcasts. So they're fun to listen to. Now we kind of have a standalone extra just called Sing Along. It's Sing Along with the movie. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a sing along with all the songs in the film, and it pops up on the bottom of the screen there, so you can just either sing along and do karaoke with the songs, or it's basically, for kids to sing along with the songs and learn the songs better. So it's what it is. Under the extras section, the first extra is called Another Romance of Celluloid, Electrical Power. This really has very little to do with Wizard of Oz, except they show it for several seconds in this clip. And this is, I don't know, it's kind of a bizarre extra on here, but I guess they wanted to make sure they didn't leave anything out. So this is showing you how they create electrical power by using water and dams and things like that, because it's very important that, the creation of power to power the lamps and the lights and things for the movies they make. And basically that's what this is. It's just a really weird extra to have on here, but at the same time, because they show like a 5-6 second clip of Wizard of Oz, that's the reason why this is included on here. It's just very weird. So there's a lot more extras here on disc 1, but I've run out of time to show you all of them, so you'll have to go to part 2 to watch the rest of it.